the people that I've known who've seen psychologists, I have always asked things like, well, what did they say? What did they tell you? And they say, well, not very much. I mean, they do all the talking. And I thought, oh, gee, how much does that cost per hour?
Exactly. Well, they are pretty much, and I believe that's a lot of the reason I have spoken to people that are going more to life coaches, because life coaches go through certification, but they are taught the procedure to encourage people to talk about themselves
Hmm.
and to resolve their problems. But the book I'm talking about today is called
Oh,
Tarot and Psychology.
cool.
And what it is, it says it is a 21st century way of looking at tarot. Basically, that they are just like ink blot cards. You know,
Huh.
when you start a session with psychology or psychologist, a lot of times some of them will incorporate ink blots and say, what does this remind you of? Or what does this remind you of? You know,
Yeah.
and they kind of assess through their
Hmm.
education and training what kind of person you are. And so what this
The
book talks about,
Rorschach test. Is it Rorschach or
yeah,
Rosh? Yeah, the
yeah,
ink blot test.
the
Rorschach.
ink blot test. So
Rorschach.
it says, uh-huh. So
I'm
it
not
says
sure
there's,
how to.
yep, I don't know which one, but we all know what it means,
You
you
know what I
know.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, for psychiatry or psychology, there's the talking cure, which
Hmm.
means that when people talk about themselves, they seem to resolve more problems. The problem is
By
sometimes you're
hearing their
talking
own thoughts verbalized, you mean? A lot of
verbalized.
times, once you verbalize it, you actually hear it in a different way. Yeah.
The problem is that sometimes it may take a year or two to actually come to a real, conclusion.
Hmm.
And I have read for people before that said, you just told me what it took me 2 years to find out in psychology in a psychiatrist in a half an hour. And I'll think, but maybe you wouldn't have accepted it before
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you had not had that psychology to
Hmm.
compare it with. So
Well,
anyway,
and also
mhm,
too, the psychologist was probably necessary anyway, because there might have been, if there's something else wrong, they would catch it.
mhm,
Is that, do they have the training to see if maybe there's something else wrong? Maybe you have a chemical imbalance, and
mhm.
all those things can affect. A psychologist could determine that by listening to you and seeing how you perceive things. Um, Sometimes, yeah, I mean, to see if there is something wrong, yeah, a person should see one, I suppose, if you think there's something, wrong. But we're not talking about the medical end of it, though, I suppose, you
Well, what
know.
we're looking at is the 21st century way. It says
Right.
even tarot
Hmm.
has to find a way to fit into the 21st century. And
Hmm.
yes, right now it seems to be going well with um, I had an interesting conversation with a friend today who also is a psychic medium, and
Uh-huh.
he was having me do him an email reading, but he was giving me a lot of information. And after it was
Hmm.
over, I said, I do much better when I'm pinging on no information from you,
Oh, yeah.
because that way you're not tainting my view with your outlook. I get to kind of look at it. They call the ability, my husband's very good at this at airports, cloaking.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what that is?
Oh, yeah. Doesn't that,
Um,
isn't, do you want to explain it? or is I would say masking,
It's
or
it's
is that
kind of the yeah, it's kind of the
hiding
ability
something?
to blend into the background as if you're invisible.
Oh yes, yes, cloaking. Hmm.
What was that? What was that one investigator that got fired by Trump? The first one.
I don't notice. It's been such a revolving door.
Oh,
It's hard to keep
let me
track
see.
of.
Very tall man, and he came in, and but they said that he was one of the leading FBI guy, Comey.
Oh,
They said Comey was very good at blending into the background so that even though he was an imposing figure, he knew how to completely draw back his energy and not seem like he was part of the crowd, which I think
I
is why
believe that's possible. Sure.
I do too.
I heard
Mhm.
Tallulah Bankhead. Remember the famous actress? She older actress, of course, from days gone by. Tallulah Bankhead said that she was never bothered in a crowded place, or because if she didn't want to be seen, she said she just didn't think about herself. And then nobody would notice her. That's what
And
she claimed.
what do most of us do when we go in a crowd? Oh, how do I look? Am I
Yes. I would
do I
draw
have creases
attention to
showing?
ourselves. And actually, you
Or is
do
my
pull
hair
in yeah, I suppose it makes sense to me that if you don't want to be noticed, do not think of yourself.
right?
Don't draw attention to yourself, don't fuss with yourself, and don't think about yourself. Don't think about how you don't want to be seen. Just simply don't think about it. And
Which is what most introverts do.
yeah,
I mean, a lot of introverts have a way of cloaking their energy in crowds so they don't
mhm.
stand out from years and years and years of of,
Well,
of
I
refuse.
suppose if you're in a situation where you don't want to really be seen, like say, there was a time where I actually considered dressing to match the decor of my place of works, just to see if I would be noticed or not noticed. Because we had these walls that were partially russet. There's a definite division line, and the bottom part of the wall was russet, and the top was like some sort of a beige. And I kept thinking, if I wore russet pants and a beige shirt, I wonder if I'd be seen in the hallway.
And did you try it?
I didn't know because I hate those colors and I won't wear them. But I was thinking, gee, if I ever wanted to, I used to fantasize sometimes about how would I, what kind of clothing fashion could I come up with that would make me blend into my surroundings. But that's the other part of that is when you are going into a place for an interview, and if you have an opportunity to see the place, say maybe a few days before the interview, check it out. Maybe if you have an appointment, you think I'm just going to pop in and look around. And I used to do that with some of the libraries that I would apply at, where I would check the place out just to see what they're about. So I had something intelligent to say too during the interview eventually. But look at the decor and then try to plan your colors and your wardrobe. Make it look like you belong there when you go to
Oh,
yeah,
psychology.
very subtle. I mean, don't be too exact. You don't want to look like, oh, come on now. But you you want to kind of look like, I mean, don't don't look like the black dot in the snow, or the piece of dandruff. And really check out the color scheme and then try to kind of look like you belong there. It might have a psychological effect on your boss. Of course, I've never tried it, but I think that's something that I've always thought about doing to see
Well,
if it would
you know,
work. I think
it
it would,
see,
really. I think
sounds
it would.
logical.
Because
The other thing they say that works is mirroring.
yeah, and that's sometimes
Mirroring actions.
yeah.
If like someone is sitting forward, then you sit forward,
Hmm.
or if someone is
Yeah, if you
talking
pull
in a very fast pace, then you may find yourself talking very fast and it seemed like an engrossing conversation. Um, or, there are certain things to be able to mirror the behavior of the people you are speaking with for even more acceptance, which is usually the secret behind being a chameleon, which is someone that
Right.
blends into any environment and any crowd they're in because they're so good at mirroring behavior.
Hmm. Well,
So,
you know how some people have, I know thieves and perpetrators have tried this method of just calmly walking away and hoping that they're not going to be noticed. And actually, they do that because it has been known to work. People just calmly walking away and blending into the crowd after committing some act, that's, that would get attention. Um, Sometimes in stores, it used to be a method of shoplifting where you just look like you very nonchalantly just walk on out with your package. And my father had caught somebody doing that in a grocery store that he worked in, and no one seemed to notice that these young men were walking out with cases of beverages over their shoulder, but walking right out the door, right in plain sight, and of course they got caught
wow.
because one person thought, wait a minute. But for the most part, if that one person wasn't there, if that wasn't, there's always somebody, there's always that one person that's going to be looking. You never know. But if they're not there, it usually does. People usually do just nonchalantly blend into the scenery. They walk around. They look like they're part of the works. And that's
Well, and,
what,
and that was also something I caught on back when in my old party days. That
oh, yeah.
if you wanted to leave a party without everybody gossiping about you, you left unannounced.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't say, well, goodbye. Well, goodbye,
Right.
because that gave everybody the exact moment that they knew they could start
Yeah,
talking about you.
yeah, she's gone now. We can talk about her.
Yeah,
But
so
actually, I have been at some larger parties where it was less personal. That I just said, oh, excuse me, and went headed toward the washrooms and then just kept on going and went home. Uh,
yeah, yeah. It's a great way not to be gossiped about. But
yeah, and it's
anyway,
just like,
I
yeah.
digress. I digress. Anyway, it says that, for instance, in going back to how to use tarot if you're a life coach, the way to use tarot in a life coaching session, and I believe that we talked about this last time, you
Hmm.
don't necessarily have to be the reader. And there are two kinds of readers. I have noticed where I work and where you work, Keen, there are people that can keep a person on the line for an hour at a time. And you're
Yeah.
going, my God, that phone has been busy and busy and busy. What's going
Right.
on? Well, I
Right.
think the thing is they're not reading at all. Or if they are at the point where they are basically encouraging the person to talk about themselves. And so let's say that you're a life coach and you are in a session with someone, and I'm not showing you how to keep someone on the line for an hour
Hmm.
for reading, but I'm saying that in a one-to-one session, you would just use the cards as a vehicle for someone to talk about themselves, and you
Hmm.
would spread the cards all over the table or desk that you're reading at, and then you would ask that person to make three piles. One stood for their issue, one stood for themselves. Oh, four piles. One for the issue, one for themselves, one for their hopes and ideals, and one for their fears. And then for each of those piles, you would have them pick 4 or 5 cards and say, look at those cards. Now, which of those cards do you think represent you? And they would pick them out. Well, which one of those do you think would represent your fear? And they pick them out based on the pictures. And which one do you think would represent your hopeful outcome? And they would pick them out.
Hmm.
And he discusses in the book how he does this with a man with AIDS who is dying. And, he's afraid. And he completely gets him through an hour session where the man leaves with so much more contentment and happiness because he's talked the session through using tarot as his hopes, his fears, where he stood, and it was all using tarot in a modern way in the 21st century. And again, the name of the book is called Tarot and Psychology, and it's by Arthur Rosengarten, PhD.
Wow.
Pretty cool book.
That must have been a really, I would find, gee, the man had AIDS.
Hmm.
When you hear these diseases, immediately you think, oh, the person's dying, but actually that's not necessarily true.
That was back in the
And
old days,
yeah,
though,
and
when it
back in
was
back
more
in the
of a,
day, yeah, you died.
well, the
That
same
was,
with cancer.
yeah,
Cancer is the
back
same
in the
way.
day, yeah,
Back in the day, cancer was a death sentence. Now,
yeah.
cancer is
There's
kind
more
of
hope.
kind of a
Yeah,
death sentence, but not
it still
really.
is. Actually, both. Once you've been invaded like that, it's really difficult. It kind of is, and it kind of isn't. You don't really know because we don't know how long our lives are going to be, whether or not you die from these illnesses or not. We don't know.
Or get hit by a
Uh,
car in the morning,
well,
we
we
don't
just
know.
don't know, and for all we know, a bomb might fall on us in 5 minutes. We just don't know, especially
Right,
with what's going on today, on these days.
right.
Geez, you don't know what to expect. Like if wake up and see a white light,
Hey, and
or
how do we know we're dead anyway? How do we know?
well,
I mean, we're not going
I
to say, "Gee,
suppose,
I think I just died."
yeah, I
We won't.
suppose,
How do?
or like some people would say, well, I guess then it would just be, that's it, zip. And you
Mm,
got, people who don't believe in, who are convinced that there is nothing after this. Um, I suppose, well, I guess they'll only, if that's true, if they are correct, which I don't believe that because I've seen some evidence to that. Um, I can't prove it. But the thing is,
mhm.
if that is so, if by chance that is so, I suppose we'll only be disappointed for a split second. you know.
And then there's a theory that no matter what religion you are,
Mm,
the Buddhists say that your wish of your kind of heaven will be fulfilled in that
right. If
split
they
second
wish.
that in that split
Yeah.
second that you are
Yeah.
officially gone. You will reach that heaven that you so believed in because you made it a reality for that moment. So whatever it is, or maybe I have the theory that maybe we just keep on going like we are not even aware that, I
Well,
could be a floating
maybe
particle,
maybe we really are all the same one consciousness, and we just don't
right?
know it.
We don't know. And on that basis, I'm going to start with Stephanie, who would
Mhm.
like to know, hi, Anne Marie and Joseph, can I have a
Hi,
general
Stephanie.
reading?
Oh,
These are
sure.
all in quicks because I've lost the phone readings, I think. I don't know, there's
Oh
nobody in the
dear.
phone call session, but that's okay.
Oh.
It's important that if there is anybody that wants to call in, the number is 602-666-6027, but we will continue with Stephanie from
Stephanie.
Idaho, Rebecca from Oklahoma, Kevin from Arkansas. And that's where we have for now. And Gwen, and she's in the the in-quick room too. So, okay,
Hmm.
go for Stephanie.
Okay, Stephanie. Well, let's see. Gee, I picked up the star in her immediate past, which is kind of interesting, because she's always. It tells me that she's always been sort of an inspired person, somebody who has lots of insight and lots of hope. And always, you're a person with dreams, Stephanie, that you are working toward. And I see a lot of strong love in your past, and it's still an influence. All of this is still an influence to do well. And really, what I see at the present time is the Queen of Cups. And that is, I see I see you as a nurturing personality, and I do see that you have a positive effect on your own life. You have a way of making things work. And this, I believe, is the influence probably from another female that is a very good friend or possibly a parent or a relative. Um, Somebody who is always a perfect wife and mother who has given you a good foundation. And I do see that your relationship with this person and or this part of yourself is the highlight here. I do see that you need to be a little careful with money, though, with the Queen of Cups, even though it does show practicalness. It does stress, do maintain being practical, because you need to watch out for people who are doing things behind your back in the near future regarding work. And you might have some opposition, and life is full of that. We always have our obstacles, but this, you'll be having some, and you might be forced to question, like, gee, do I know what I'm doing? Am I making did I make the right decision? And rest assured that you will make the right decisions. It's just that you're going to have a few obstacles, and you will deal with them well. But you'll have some responsibilities that might weigh a little heavy on you, but you will work it out. And don't allow the situation to make you question yourself, because you have always, always been on target and have always thought more for others. You've always tried to do what the right thing was. And so I would say, don't worry, keep doing what you're doing. Seems like you're on the right path. Do try to stay as practical. Maintain that practical sense about you, because it is important. That's what I got.
All right. Okay, Stephanie, the first thing I pull up on you says, this is the Goddess card. Well, I'm not going to show them because I'm getting too much shine on them. And it says, you're very capable. You pretty much know how to survive and take care of yourself, and this is kind of a gift of yours. It says, though, that you're crossed with multitasking and feeling a little like you're breathless with trying to keep up to everybody's expectations and wishes for you. One of the things it says, you're also looking at this time for a quick escape, for something that can get you out of your current conflicts. The past shows a legal issue, either a divorce or some kind of judgment that you it doesn't have to necessarily be legal, or it can represent somebody else that is going through a divorce or legal situation. The future, though, says that one of the things that you may have to expect is that during a time, if this is someone else that is going through a divorce or going through a legal separation, that there may be a time frame where you are going to be forced to separate or have some time apart in order to let them have maximum results for whatever they're going through without getting in trouble. Can also indicate that you're that person, or that you need to separate from something that's really kind of getting you in a catch-all and painted in a corner. Better to get away from it. Lastly, your reading says, don't jump into anything new quite yet. If you feel like you're breathless trying to keep up with all the expectations of you, endure. You can. But understand the final conclusion is that A, even though you don't want any more responsibility in your life anymore, B, you're kind of obsessive and driven. So you kind of want what you hate and hate what you want. C, you are about to have a transformation and new beginning in your life. And D, final conclusion, more money, more financial clout, and either a better job or a better dollar sign ahead for your life. And that's what I see. Okay, we have, we have a phone reading. Renee is here. And hi, Renee, how are you?
Hi, Renee.
Hello, Renee. Hello, Renee. Okay, so we will go to the next question from Rebecca from Oklahoma, and says, I am looking to make my money situation better and looking for a new job. Can you check the cards to see when that will be happening? Please remember, all time frames are approximate because time is elastic. As as we know, the past, the present, and the future are all happening simultaneously, so we will do our best to project a time frame. Okay, so what do you have there, Joseph?
Well, I am seeing, I'm seeing in the past regarding health, work. I drew the Ace of Wands upside down for her immediate past and what her current influence is. And I am seeing that she started something, like she's starting something new. And of course, this works out well with her question. She's looking for change. I'm seeing that she started this. There has been some changes recently around her, some that she started herself because she really does need to do this. And I'm seeing that she's always had to really watch her finances. I'm seeing that. Now, at the current time, I'm seeing the reverse King of Pentacles, and I do see that you're dealing, I think people around you seem to be a bit stubborn. I'm seeing this could be even your current boss is not a very receptive person, perhaps a little unusual. I see it more as a personality that you find maybe perhaps frustrating. I do see in terms of what you want, in terms of Three of Cups, in terms of threes, I say around June, I am seeing that you will find you will have a lead or an opportunity to have a new job, a new place of work, and it indicates abundance. It's going to be more money. It will be better than where you're at. So you may have to stick through with what you got. And like I say, I always tell people, never leave a job until you have the other one locked in. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Never,
Mm-hmm.
never quit and say, I quit. I'm going to go find something else because that's
People do, though.
well,
Mm.
and I just want to scream because it's like, you know what? As soon as you're not employed, you become less desirable. You have to try to stay employed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to show that you've been doing something, even if it's not a great thing. You have to indicate that you are keeping occupied. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Three of Cups is very good coming up for you in about 3 months. I say like around May, June, July, because we're at the end of April. We're in the middle of April, May, June, July. Yeah, that's about right. And it could be even a new fun and relation. All around, I see things coming to you around this time and opportunities. So be ready to act because this could be also in love. It could be a new relationship as well, or it could simply be that you have found a great place to work where everybody is just wonderful and you're going to love being there. So I see good things abound. Stick with what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing because it looks like it's about right. Stay there, though, until you get this. And I see it working
Done.
out. So, yeah, June, I think. Yeah, that's a good, late June, maybe.
I have exactly the same time frame, June. It says April is the month where you should stay with whatever you have as long as it's honoring your needs. May is seen as the time where you are seeming to separate and lock down on a new goal. And June and July are seen as times of abundance and a time where you seem to be having new work. So I'm with Joseph. June and July are my times for telling you that things are going to get back together. We're going to go to Sandy, and then we're going to go back to Renee, who came back. But Sandy came in after Renee. Sandy, hello, how are you, and what can we do for you?
Hi, Sandy.
Oh, hi. It's been a long time since I've gotten to talk to you. I just wanted to call in again, and just how much I've enjoyed you and Joseph both, and how much you guys helped me in the past. I think you know who I am. I was the one you thought was Andy. And I'm just telling you, I'm doing just like you. You encouraged me. I was so down. Both of you were so good to me, and I'm real. It's all folding out the way you said it was going to. Things are going really well, and I'm just calling to say I wanted
Sandy.
That's
so proud of you. Thank you. Doing wonderful.
Yeah, both of you were always so good to me every time I called, and I was going through a bad having that response to that medicine, and you guys, I was really feeling, and I'm really doing good. And I was one of the ones that, I told everybody how if you can write down what was said to you, because you forget it, then when you need it, you can go back and reread what you said, and that's what I did. And I can't tell you how much you guys really helped, and so I just want to give a call in and thank you both again for all the help you gave me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm doing really well.
That must be why I pull up the card of victory for you. Your reading says that you are seen as the Knight of Swords, which indicates that ambition and wonderful change and high energy is yours right now. So that would indicate why that came up. How about you? What's up for you there, Joe?
Well, I'm seeing at the current time, like everything going really well. And that's what, I picked up the Nine of Pentacles for the current state of affairs. And the Nine of Cups in the past shows that there were some disappointments, but, you're getting over it and you're dealing with it and things are looking up. And now I also picked up the Queen of Swords for the near future, and that is, it points to possibly a woman in your life, but she's a toughie, kind of. That there's a woman that's kind of tough. You want to stay on her good side. So she could also be a symbol for a few stumbling blocks that other people. It's like someone puts stuff in your way,
Or a daughter that mirrors her behavior, perhaps. It could be anything.
Somebody who's doing something that is like, oh my goodness, but you're gonna be fine. It's just that it's one of those things is that a lot of times the things that people say are not reality, and a lot of times people say a lot of things that they don't mean. So it's just somebody that you have to be clear with, and somebody that you have to listen carefully to see if they're just hurling words at you out of emotion. But it does show like you're gonna be dealing with somebody that's gonna be challenging your sensibilities a bit, but you're going to be fine with it. It just...
That's kind of funny because I was thinking how much more strong I feel, and how much, what other people say are so much more irrelevant. We're all souls going on the same journey.
Right. And if you keep that thought in mind, that's something that you need to hang on to. Don't forget that, because you know, because you're going to be
Well,
dealing
the
with
big thing you have
somebody.
to remember, it's not what someone says and it's not what someone does or what happened to you. It's the
Right.
emotion that you attach to it that comes up and bothers you year after year. You have to deal with the emotion itself. And
Yeah,
after
we
what I went
attach
through,
it.
Right.
that's what I was to do. And
We
I
attach it
realize so
ourselves.
much more now. It's all in the emotion. It's when someone says something, those words have nothing, no power, only what you give them. It's
Right.
emotion. Everything is emotion. You know, we are emotional beings made after God. Well, to tell you the
Well, you
truth,
know,
God
and
seems to be the...
very often people will say things to you and they have no idea. I mean, it could have no effect on one person, but it may upset greatly another person because of where they're coming from and what they've attached to those words.
Yep, it's
You know,
all about the emotion because what that person said is just words that came out of their mouth and that's gone. It's
right,
emotion that the person put into you.
right.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is it looks good, and you know, like I said, you know, there's always a challenge. You know, there's
Victory
always
is yours.
a
That's what I
right,
see.
right. But I see
well,
So,
victory
I
in yours too.
feel that's
I do see
exactly what
that.
it was. I want to thank you both. Don't think that's why I called to just I was
oh,
honestly thankful in my
Oh, I'm
heart,
so
and I
glad you
still am.
called.
You guys are great. Thanks for
Oh,
doing that for me.
thanks,
That's real.
Sandy. We sure appreciate that. Thank you. All right.
Okay, you
Well,
wonderful, wonderful.
thank you, Sandy. Appreciate
thanks,
you.
Sandy.
All right, let's turn it off. Okay. All right. So we have a couple of girls in the I forget the chat room, and we have three. We have Elaine, and we have first one was Elaine, and she says, "Can you see when money will look better for me?" Did we already? That looked like the same question that we had before
Money,
from Rebecca. So
money.
let's just give her a quick date because we only have 15 minutes and we have a few people to get through here. And we have to get to Renee in the phone room.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting 11, and I'm seeing that there's got to be some. Um, you're being encouraged to be a little patient. You need to be patient because I am seeing that's going to take. I'm getting 11s. I'm seeing November is something that is going to be a turning point. I'm seeing that is going to be something that is going to be very helpful to you at that time financially. And in the meantime, I'm seeing that you're going to have to work harder and be a little more patient in getting there. If you have been promised something or if you're waiting for a certain date or something to go through, you really do have to wait for that. I do see that you need to be patient, and you're being encouraged to be a little more um,
Discreet?
calmer. Discreet and calmer. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
discreet. Yeah, because I'm thinking of this. I'm seeing like this kind of a hurricane personality in the near future.
Exactly what I have, the tower, and then it
And
comes,
that's
then
what.
the emotional spending comes and
Right, but
to resolve the tower.
okay, there may even be some legal issue here, and it has to do with possibly debt collection or maybe a lawsuit. And you know, this card here is to reminding you that there can't be a shortcut in this. You know, it has to go. Things will improve, and they will improve in a big way, in a much nicer way for you, but not until after some requirements are made here and time. You know, it's like what they say, two women can't have a baby in 4.5 months. No one could help. No one's going to be able to shorten this for you, okay? November. Things will improve after that point. It's an important time. Make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. And you can't take a shortcut here. It's going to involve some work, and you have to wait, and you have to be patient, and try not to be the volcano that this might make you want to feel like a volcano. Try not to be that way. Really, people, those that you have assisting you at this point and handling certain things from you, you have to be a bit more patient with them because they too have to wait for processes, and so do you, and it will be fine. Just be patient. Anne Marie.
And I have, your life is like a ocean wave. It's going like this. It's going extreme emotional, and then down, 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 down. And then I'll bet you if I looked at your hand, you would have a dropped little finger, which means that your finger is way down below your pointer finger. But that's another show. But oftentimes what I'm feeling is that you have extremes in your personality that also match the way that you spend money. So if you're feeling extremely emotional, you're going to spend money more freely, which is great for a high, but then you still have to pay the rent, or you still have to pay the utility bill, or you still have to pay whatever once the high has been met during a low period. So, or whatever. So the ocean wave goes like this, up and down. So I'm going to say, first of all, Elaine, try to be more aware of your emotions and how you spend money. You might even want to keep a financial spending diary and write down your mood, and then if you did any eBay shopping or any kind of internet shopping, or if you went out shopping period that day, or write down your smooth times and how you spent money. I will bet you, from what I'm looking at, the highs and lows will match your financial spending. So can you get a grip on this, girl? Absolutely. But get a grip on you first. Okay, that's what I see. So if we have Renee. Hi, Renee. How are you?
Hi, Renee.
I'm fine, and Sandy was correct about both of you. You're both fabulous.
Thank you, Renee. We just gonna have to fix our hair.
Our heads will get
All right, Renee, what can we do for you today? Thank you for saying that.
It's true. And also, for my help, not asking, there's the person I wanted to go to is ill, so I'm trying to find another person that I can work with to help me get more mobile. And how do you think it's going to turn out? Because I've been putting out that they should be living in my city. I don't know. I don't have a clue yet. And they're the best.
So you need someone that can help heal your situation within the area, and you're wondering if you are going to manifest this as you want.
Yeah,
and
I have to call
the
person to ask if they know of someone. It's a chiropractor. I'm very fussy with chiropractors. Most do not work, and I've seen other people never get better. And one I went with was really good. So I want somebody as good as him or better.
Okay.
Well, I can tell you right away, and I'm going to do it real quick. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on.
You will. Yes, you will. Because I'm shown they're all over the place. I'm shown that there's 2 of them that you may find, and you will spot one that will work perfectly for you. What do you have, Joe?
Well, I pulled up the 3 of Pentacles, and actually it's very good. It's actually, it kind of means like your ship's coming in. Literally, that's... So you know that you have to do your part. You have to look.
It's breaking up.
To work out. I'm getting 3s. This is represented by the 3 of Pentacles. So I do see that this is a positive change. Actually, even financially, it's not going to cost as much as you thought, maybe. And actually, it's it's going to work out. Now, threes, I'd say probably in about 3 months. Between 3 weeks and 3 months. Actually, now that I've said 3 weeks, it might even be around
I
that.
think 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I think you'll find it sooner rather than later.
yeah.
You
I
know,
think I'm
remember,
seeing sooner. I'm seeing sooner because of the effort that you're putting into this. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Keep trying to draw this because it's
I've
going
been
to
doing
work
it.
out for you. Yeah.
have you ever, have you ever tried orthobionomy?
No.
Orthobionomy is um, gentle version of what you want. And you may want to try an orthobionomist. Usually they're women, but they use corrective positioning on a table. And they maneuver you very gently in all different positions, your back, they cradle you in all different positions. And for me, it's very trusting because I'm in the hands of a woman. But
Does your insurance cover? See, the trouble is,
that's the
I think a lot of
homeopath.
reasons why
Yeah.
Well,
a lot
my
of
my
reasons why
insurance not
people
going to cover it
don't.
right now, so,
Yeah,
so I
it,
just have to
the
find somebody
chiropractor
good.
is usually covered most of the time, right? And the thing is, a lot of people don't. It's like even though they think, gee, I'd like to see a naturopath or something, that's usually not covered under insurance.
How
It's usually
how
not.
how would I find an orthobionomy?
Um, in that
Yeah,
top section of your computer where white box is,
the yellow
called the
pages.
browser, it says, you just type in ortho, ORTHEOBIONOMY, and then in your area, orthobionomy. Sound it out. Google's got it so you can spell wrong now and they'll still come up with something. But orthobionomy in your area in the search browser, and it'll help you.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'll
that's how
be
I find a lot of
fabulous.
things, actually.
Or you get one of those little things that you see at Walmart. What do they call her? Alexis, or no, what do they call her? I don't
Oh,
have one.
I don't have one either. Was it Siri? On
Siri.
your phone?
And just say,
Siri.
Siri, help me find orthobionomy in my area.
Okay, it's worked, and I
That
can
might
ask.
be a way to
I'll
do
ask
an
my
area
friend to see
search.
if they can find it for me.
It's
Yeah.
corrective positioning. In fact, I told my chiropractor, I said, I'm my orthobionomist is so far away, I'm coming to you. But I really go to her because she uses corrective positioning. And he says, well, I can do that too. So then he started using more gentle corrective positioning. So it's just a more modern
It
way
might
of
be,
chiropractic.
actually, it might even be offered by the next guy you find, the next person, I
Yeah,
mean, the
yeah.
next person the next chiropractor might even have this, I'm sure that they have a whole bunch of methods that they
Hey,
try. I've never been to one.
we need to go real quick here. Just two yes or no questions. I want to go to
Okay.
Okay,
Paloma.
thank you so
Thank
much. Many blessings
you.
to both of you.
You're
Many
welcome.
blessings to you. Paloma says, hello guys. May I ask one question? Will I be happy if I take Gnome as a boyfriend? Yes or no?
No.
We only have 4 minutes.
Okay.
She
Well,
wants Paloma. Will she, if she takes,
I
where did,
drew the Four of Pentacles for Paloma. Is it Paloma? Yes. And I do see that when it comes to love here, I see that she's finally opening herself up in a way where it matters, where she's making a more real attempt. I see that I think that she has a chance with this relationship because that's what the Four of Pentacles indicates. It's like it is a relationship that has a chance, and it is telling you don't let your fear hold you back, and you are encouraged to reach out and to be open to love. And actually, if you're settling on this person because they're convenient,
Keep them as a friend.
yeah.
If you're
Actually,
taking this person on,
you're being encouraged to be more open. So, I mean, if this is not an ideal relationship, then I would say you're being encouraged to meet other people and to be more social. But it is also it's going to require work if you're going to, sure, this is somebody that is nice, but
okay,
you have
we've
to
got
be
2
happy.
minutes.
You gotta be happy. If you're not happy, then move on, okay? But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to tackle the issues within the relationship, and don't be afraid to move on if you feel that it's all. You don't be afraid.
Okay,
Okay.
Gwen wants to know, when will she find happiness and have new love coming into her life this year? That's what Gwen wants to know for Anne-Marie and Joseph. We have 2 minutes.
I would say in about 2 months. I would say, let's see, May, June, towards the end of June, and actually that is more likely that you're going to meet somebody. I do see somebody, it might have to do with probably somewhere in you're going to be doing something to get out of a rut, like going to some arts festival or something different you haven't done before. And that's when you're going to find you have more potential to meet somebody. And I'm going to say, like at the end of June, where you have more festivals, in the summer and the spring, make sure that you go to them, because that's one way you're going to meet somebody. If nobody sees you, they won't know you're there. Okay? So,
and I'm going to add to that before we close.
Yeah.
Quit looking for love. Love only comes like a semi-truck in the dark when you least expect it. It's true. So the more that you desire love, and the more you're going to settle for less and get a broken-winged bird. Let go, love yourself, and quit looking. It'll hit you like a semi-truck when you least expect it. So I'm going to say goodbye to y'all, and I'll see you next week. What is gluten? That's what we're discussing next week with Karen James.
Okay, we'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Odell at Achieve Radio's Tarot Joy. Come on upstairs. Grab yourself a tapestry pillow and get a down-home, honest reading with 30 years Master Tarot channeling experience. In addition, I will have a weekly spiritual guest from around the world. That's 2 readings per call for you. After the show, I invite you